Hello, so I'm Simon Pine from Greener Energy Futures. When I'm doing energy audits, sometimes I reach the limits of my knowledge, which is why I bring in great partners to help me. And Rupert's one of those partners. We've worked on a handful of projects together. Thanks for joining me, Rupert.
Oh, thank you for having me, Simon.
So, for those who don't know you, what's your speciality, and perhaps one thing that you like about your job?
I specialise in renewable and sustainable energy engineering.
Okay.
What I like about my job is not knowing where it's going to end up necessarily, looking at a system, ranges of technologies, but with changes of technologies, changes in the market, regulation, and different conditions in different places, you can come up with different answers, and that can be a surprise. So I enjoy going into it with an open mind and then seeing what comes out at the other end.
That makes sense. It's really interesting learning about and on the job, isn't it? Thinking about different conditions. Clearly, this week we're going to be facing a relative heat wave, and I thought what I wanted to ask you as an engineer and somebody who's familiar with buildings is to give three quick tips for somebody who wants to avoid people and plant being uncomfortable or starting to kind of fail by the end of the week. So, three quick tips for me to manage heat in buildings.
Okay, well, my three tips would be server room control, and then nighttime flushing, and daytime keeping doors shut. For the
Go on.
server rooms,
Yeah.
they're often cooled to far lower temperatures than they need to be.
Yeah.
I recommend looking at the equipment temperature limits, letting the temperature rise to near those, and then you'll be making significant savings on
Oh, yeah.
your cooling costs.
Yeah.
With the nighttime flushing, that's taking advantage of the cooler temperature outside at night, letting that air in through open windows and vents.
Yeah.
And so you have cooler air for when people come in the morning, and then closing those windows and vents when people come in, and then when it's really hot outside, inevitably the temperature eventually is going to rise inside, and people can be tempted to throw open the doors and windows thinking they'll be cooling themselves down, but what they'll be doing is letting in warmer air from outside than is inside and making the situation worse. So recommendation there is to shut the door, keep the windows and doors shut, and recognizing that there's a psychologically, if it's relatively cooler inside, even though it might be as high as 25 degrees inside, if it's cooler than outside, people will feel more comfortable with that than they might be at other times of year.
Yeah, no, makes perfect sense. I love those ideas. So servers don't need to be as cold as perhaps you're specifying. Let the temperature slide a bit, save a bit of energy. People need to be cooler than the outside. Therefore, the building just needs to be a bit cooler than the outside rather than what we've set it for previously. And then one way of course, then making it cooler is to clear it out with fresh nighttime air because it's going to be about 10, 15 degrees cooler at night. That's brilliant. I hope people find that very helpful. Rupert, thank you for your expertise. Let's dig into a bit more when we have a longer chance.